Millennium TV. 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 Millennium TV. We mean business. Millennium TV. 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 Millennium TV. We mean business. Millennium TV. TV. TV.
March 2021. Thank you so much for joining us to yet another exciting edition of Millennium Kwacha, your first and only business breakfast show. Coming to you live from our Long Acre studios right here in the capital city, Lusaka. We're also streaming live both on Facebook as well as YouTube. It's also Financial Literacy Week. We want to also find out from you how you are celebrating this Financial Literacy Week and how much you know about this week. I'm your host, Paul Shingongo, and of course, my co-host, Constance Namwinga. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Awesome. The red looks bright.
Thank you. I was going for that look, a bright, happy look.
It's a happy Tuesday. But for now, let's move straight into the news updates.
Alrighty, in the local stories, we have World Vision aids Mbala schools, Kapiri and Poshi roads to receive facelift, and in international stories, Kenyan police officers to go on trial for British aristocrat's death. And in the details, World Vision in Mbala has donated assorted COVID-19 materials to schools in the district valued at 435,000 kwacha. The materials include 105 thermal scanners, 210 by 650 milliliters hand-washing liquid soap, and 105 by 25 kilogram containers of granular chlorine. World Vision in Mbala Area Development Program Manager Mpego Simutami said the materials are meant to help schools in the district fight COVID-19. Mr. Simutami, who presented the items to the district administration in Mbala, said World Vision values the health of the children. He said the organization is committed to ensuring that children are educated and experience the love of God. Mr. Simutami stated that all primary and secondary schools in the area will benefit from the materials. And Mbala District Commissioner Maybin Chibalange thanked World Vision Zambia for the donation. Mr. Chibalange noted that government has continued to enjoy a good working relationship with World Vision Zambia. He has since implored school managers to ensure that they put the materials to good use. And speaking at the same occasion, acting Mbala District Education Board Secretary Wilfred Chilala said the materials will help schools in the area prevent and detect any possible cases of COVID-19. Mr. Chilala has since thanked World Vision for assisting schools in the district. In another story, government has awarded 119 million kwacha tender to 2 contractors to rehabilitate a total of 200 kilometers of feeder roads in Kapiri Poshi district. The feeder roads to be rehabilitated include those leading to all the 3 chiefdom palaces, namely Chipepo, Nkola and Munkwanchi in the district. Kapiri Poshi Town Council Public Relations Officer Chris Mulaliki has disclosed the development to Zanis. Mr. Mulaliki said the scope of the roadworks comprise full graveling, repair and installation of new culverts and bridges on the targeted roads. Mr. Mulaliki noted that the rehabilitation of the feeder roads in the rural parts of the district will ease movement of farming inputs and create better market opportunities for agricultural produce in the area. He urged the beneficiary communities to guard the roads against vandals once worked on, and Teviam Enterprises Limited and Luvias Limited have been contracted to undertake the road rehabilitation projects. In international news, 4 Kenyan policemen will stand trial after a judge ruled on Monday that they had a case to answer in the death of the British aristocrat Alexander Manson, who died in police custody in 2012. The 28-year-old was arrested outside a nightclub at the Diani Beach Resort on the south coast on suspicion of smoking cannabis. The ruling in Mombasa comes after a lengthy legal battle by his family. Police said he died of a drug overdose, but his family disputes this and says he was in good health. A toxicology report ordered by the family showed he had not taken drugs at the time of his death, and 2 reports by government pathologists said he died from a traumatic blow to the head. An inquest also found there were attempts to cover up the incident as well as threats against witnesses. Monson is heir to a family estate in Lincolnshire in the north of England. And armed men have killed at least 40 people in raids on villages near Niger's border with Mali, an area that has seen increasingly deadly attacks by armed groups with links to the Islamic State and Al-Qaeda. The attacks occurred on Sunday in 3 villages in the Tahua region, abutting the Tilaberi region in the so-called Tree Border area, a flashpoint zone where the frontiers of Niger, Burkina Faso and Mali converge. The insurgencies in West Africa's Sahel has killed hundreds, and nearly 500,000 people have fled their homes. In March 15, 66 people were killed in the Tilaberi region when suspected jihadists attacked a bus carrying shoppers from the market town of Banibango and then raided the village of Daredaye, killing inhabitants and touching grain stores. On January 2nd, 100 people were killed in attacks on 2 villages in the Mangays district of the Tilaberi. The massacre, one of the worst in Niger's history, occurred between 2 rounds of the country's presidential election. The killings underscore the massive security challenges facing Niger's President Mohamed Bazoum, who was elected in February. A 5,000-strong French-men counter-terrorism offensive targets the militants, including some in a group aligned with the Islamic State known as ISWAP, an offshoot of Boko Haram. The Nigerian government did not immediately confirm the latest attack. That's it for international stories.
Moving on to sports news this morning, we begin with the local stories right here in our country. The Football Association of Zambia has launched the inaugural Women's Football League in Northern Province. Speaking during the launch in Kasama, FAR's provincial women representative Beauty Namwinga said the move to introduce the league is aimed at developing women's football. Namwinga expressed confidence that the development will help shape the future of women's game at both the provincial and national level. And FAR's provincial chairperson Mwansa Kapianga said the launch of the Women's Football League is in line with the association's commitment to develop women's football at grassroots level. He said the coming of the league will also give hope to youths, especially girls in the region. Kapianga, who was flanked by his vice provincial chairperson Lakson Daka, added that the FARS wants to build an inclusive and sustainable future for women and girls football in the country. He disclosed that 12 women teams from across the province have since been selected to participate in the inaugural league. Meanwhile, Kasama District Administrative Officer Beauty Namkoko said the development will improve women's football in the province and create more opportunities for the players. I'm very excited with this initiative by FARS to introduce Women's Football League in the province because the game is evolving, hence the need to keep up, she said. Namkoko urged the players to be disciplined and desist from engaging in vices that could ruin their future. And participating teams have thanked FARS for launching the league, saying this is a big step for players in the province. Mungwi Hotspurs football team captain Beatrice Munaile and our Pride Stars counterpart Diana Zulu said the league will enable players to showcase their talents. Now, moving on, Chipolopolo striker Patson Daka has issued a rallying call to the team ahead of Thursday's must-win 2021 AFCON Group H home qualifier against the defending champions Algeria. Patson of Austrian champions RB Salzburg arrived in camp on Monday together with his clubmate and midfielder Enoch Mwape. Others that arrived on Monday are South African-based midfielders Roderick Kabwe and Augustine Mlenga of Black Leopards and Amazulu, respectively, together with Luambo Msonda of Slack in Poland to complete the team after the other foreign-based collapse trickled in from Wednesday through to Sunday. Zambia must win their last 2 Group H qualifiers against Algeria and Lusaka on the 25th of March and away in Zimbabwe on the 29th of March, and then beat the odds to finish in the top 2. Chipolopolo are bottom of Group H on 3 points, 1 point behind third place Botswana, who host number 2 side Zimbabwe also on Thursday. Zimbabwe are 5 points, while leaders Algeria are on 10 points and have since qualified with 2 games in hand, with their only interest now just to confirm their final top 2 qualifying spot classification. Meanwhile, Zambia will be without striker Justin Shonga of Cape Town City Football Club in South Africa and Belgium-based striker Fashion Sakala of KV Ostende, who are both injured. Now, in international sports news this morning, Chris Paul became the 6th man in NBA history to reach 10,000 assists as his Phoenix Suns team beat a Los Angeles Lakers side without LeBron James. Paul, 35, scored 11 points with 10 rebounds and 13 assists as the Suns beat the Lakers 111-94. James injured his ankle in a defeat by the Atlanta Hawks on Saturday. Charlotte Hornets point guard Lomel Ball could be out of the season after he broke his wrist against the Los Angeles Clippers on Saturday. That's it for sports. Move straight into money markets for this morning. The Zambian Kwacha was trading at 21.99 against the US dollar, 30.41 against the British pound, 26.22 against the euro, and 1.48 against the South African rand. Now the South African rand was due to change at 14.7 against the greenback as the dollar lost some ground while traders monitored turmoil in Turkey after the president unexpectedly fired the country's central bank governor during the weekend. On the local front, investors' focus turned to the South African Reserve Bank monetary policy meeting this week, at which policymakers are widely expected to hold interest rates unchanged. Also, inflation figures and the central bank leading indicator will be closely watched. The British pound traded little change below 1.39, with investors cautious over the country's vaccination rollout as the EU is expected to deny authorization to ship AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine and their ingredients to the UK until the drug maker fulfills its delivery obligations to the 27-nation bloc. Also, the government asked Britons not to book summer holidays abroad as coronavirus cases soar. On the monetary policy front, the Bank of England left monetary policy unchanged and failed to signal any increase to the central bank's bond buying in the coming months during its March meeting. The euro traded around 1.19 as investors were generally cautious amid a turmoil in Turkey after the president fired the respected central bank chief with a critique of high interest rates after the central bank raised rates by 200 basis points last week. Meanwhile, traders continue to worry over a surge in COVID-19 cases across Europe and the negative impact of restrictive measures on the vaccine delays on economic recovery. On the monetary policy front, investors await fresh data on the ECB weekly bond purchases as the central bank is seen accelerating the pace of bond buying. Now, finally, the weather will begin with our capital city, Lusaka. Will be partly sunny. Temperature currently stands at 24 degrees Celsius, but expected to climb to 25 in the afternoon and drop to 19 degrees Celsius later in the evening. In Dola will be humid with times of clouds and sun, a thunderstorm in some parts later on this afternoon. Temperature currently stands at 24 degrees Celsius, but expected to climb to 25 in the afternoon and drop to 18 degrees Celsius in the evening. In the east, Chipata will experience some sun, then turning cloudy and humid with thunderstorms in some parts of the area. Temperature currently in Chipata stands at 26 degrees Celsius, expected to drop to 24 degrees Celsius in the afternoon and drop to 19 later on in the evening. Our tourist capital is going to be sunny to partly cloudy and of course pleasant. Temperature currently stands at 28 degrees Celsius, but expected to climb to 30 degrees Celsius in the afternoon and drop to 20 in the evening. That's it for the news updates at 7. This is Millennium Kwacha, your first and only business breakfast. We have so much packed up for you this morning. We discuss the importance of savings during this week of Financial Literacy Week. What is the importance of savings? Want to hear from you. Tell us where you're watching us from. We are coming live from our Longika studios right here in the capital city, Lusaka. Also streaming live both on YouTube as well as Facebook. You can also call us. The number is 0975 740518. We'll be glad to hear from you. We'll be back after this break.
It is packaged to perfection, trending topics that we will be discussing to make sure you know exactly what's happening in the world of social media and, of course, our very own country.
Exactly. We don't just limit ourselves to the country, but we also move across the borders with the best in international news, policy making. We also bring experts to bring to you right information right here on The Breakfast Show.
And if you've got questions, we got you covered too. Like we said, we're on Facebook, so comment, leave your questions. We will be able to answer them. And if we can, trust me, we're going to get somebody that can.
Yeah, join us every day, Monday to Saturday.
It's Constance and Paul.
Oh, Paul and Constance.
No, definitely Constance and Paul.
Paul and Constance.
Definitely Constance.
Paul and Constance. 7 to 9.
Mafingerings tikaleta kukuti kule ifike pa 500 gram or 450 gram even pa 400 flat gram mshia kule mngapeleke pa market.
When we're at school, we learn a lot of things. Let's say, for example, for the diseases which are there in the poultry. So for someone like me who has gone to school, it's easy for me to know if at all there are any diseases in the poultry.
Thank you so much for staying tuned in to Millennium, Kwacha, your first and your favorite business breakfast show. I'm your host, Constance Namwinga. Of course, I'm with my co-host, Paul Shingongo. It's now time for Press Play. Let's get into the stories that made headlines in the newspapers. Starting off with the Daily Nation, we do have massive job losses as OMCs shun local tanker drivers. PF to lift all suspensions, according to Kamba. Revised nomination fees final, ECZ. Nevers faces contempt of court. Reckless Liswaniso slammed. In the sports section of the Daily Nation, Zanaco keep PFL dream alive. Dhaka Mwepu in, Australian duo complete Micho's squad. Malawian adds color to Sanlam Classic golf tourney. And Serena Williams withdraws from the Miami Open. Moving on to the Daily Mail.
The Daily Mail. Critics scared of losing. Those questioning my apology fear election defeat Kambwili. Magufuli, fearless son of Africa, Lungu. Indo Zambia Bank shareholders get 75 million kwacha. Nice. Killer unveils 5 bodies. ZNS enrolls street kids. Kazungula Rail Bridge brings hope. The inspirational note from the Daily Mail today. The ultimate goal should be doing your best and enjoying it. Peggy Fleming. And the sports page of the Daily Mail. Chipolopolo complete. Mwepu Dhaka preach character, aggressiveness against Algeria. Wada tips team to beat Arabs. Tokyo bound Njovu needs exposure. Mujembe Hills never say lose attitude. And Chad disqualified from the AFCON. Fernandez needed break. Ole.
Moving on to the Times of Zambia, in bold yellow letters, we have copper demand to soar. Experts predict world will face deficit of nearly 5 million tons of the red metal annually within the decade. We also have fish production to go up, according to Nkanduluo. Congo's presidential candidate dies of COVID on poll day. Time to push ourselves. It also has Magufuli fearless, according to President Lungu. Lowest number of COVID-19 cases since December 21st. Kitwe serial killer, 2 bodies identified by family. MMD faction seeks to void Nevers Convention. And a 20-year-old to hang for defiling and strangling niece. In the sports section of the Times of Zambia, pay up or miss up AGM, ZBF. Time to push ourselves. Australia-based striker Patson Daka believes Zambia's African chances are still high. Go get them, boys, says Kamanga. Algeria hungry for 3rd AFCON title, says Bese Baini. City lose grip on top 4. Chalube fight with Copperbelt Open volleyball tourney. And Muthia cashes at South Africa golf event. Let's dive straight into the story, starting off with the Daily Mail.
We'll take a trip to begin with the sports news today. Everyone is geared for Thursday, Zambia versus Algeria. I don't know how geared you are.
I don't want to watch it because I don't want to be disappointed. I'm sorry.
Zambia is back in game.
I do know that,
Back in
but I
game.
do know that there has been a lot of strides and a lot of improvement. I would rather just hear the results after the results happen, and then do like a rewatch or something. Not what? No, my heart. I have a tiny heart. It's like this.
The team is complete now. Mwepu, Daka are in. All foreign-based players for the polo coach Micho has summoned to face Algeria in Thursday encounter have arrived, with Austria-based Gio Enoch Mwepu and Patson Daka bubbling with confidence ahead of the crucial Africa Cup of Nations qualifier. Mwepu and Daka alongside Poland-based midfielder Lubambo Musonda arrived in the same flight yesterday afternoon, while the South African-based duo midfielders Rodrick Kabwe, Augustine Mulenga arrived at midday, bringing the number of foreign-based players to 12. We are hoping for the best. Like Zambia is confident that our Chipolo Polo squad is going to do us honors on Thursday. They shouldn't disappoint in any way, So all the best. On a sad note as well, we've seen Chad being disqualified from the AFCON.
Yes.
The Confederation of African Football has disqualified Chad from the remainder of the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. The reason, accusing the government of interfering in the affairs of the Football Federation. The Chadian Ministry of Youth and Sports stripped the country's Football Federation of its powers on March 10th, following concerns over the way it was being run and the breakdown in communication, and will now likely also face a ban from FIFA, not just CAF, but as well
That's
from
bad.
And that's something that even in our country, I think Kwacha FSO would have faced the same ban, because we've seen communication from FIFA to FAS and the Minister of Sports concerning the elections, the AGM at FAS, where factions were being created. The Kalushawadia faction, those that wanted him to also participate in the elections. I think that matter has now rested. We saw Andrew Gamanga getting a fresh term, another fresh term, and hoping that politics will not interfere again in the great game of football.
I mean, I feel really bad, especially that it's going to go, that it might go as far as being banned from FIFA, and then being disqualified from the AFCON is a sad note. I think for all the other countries around, this is like a learning, situation. Like, don't do that, because, fam, that's just terrible.
Football
ruling.
is something that unites citizens across the world.
Across the world, yes.
Away from political affiliations, Thursday everyone is united. We are Zambians waiting for Zambia to beat Algeria. We'll be geared in our, I think, for sure, jersey for Zambian football. Yeah, let's move on.
All right. Coming from that sort of happy note to this sad note, I'm feeling really bad. So a 20-year-old man of Choma in southern province has been sentenced to death by hanging for defiling and strangling his 3-year-old niece. Livingston High Court Judge Kenneth Mulife sentenced Kent Chulu to death for defiling and strangling his niece and attempting to illegally dispose of her body in the bush. The crime was committed on May 25, 2019, after Chulu had sent away everyone who was at the house, thereby creating an opportunity for him to commit the offense. Delivering judgment yesterday, Judge Mulife said on December 4, 2019, that Chulu was arraigned to court, but his lawyer, Martin Mankinka, made an application to the court that his client be taken to Chainama Mental Hospital so that his mental status could be assessed at the time he committed the offense.
When I was reading the story, I was like, let me see. When the lawyer insisted that let's take him to a mental facility, I thought, okay, maybe now they would check that he was not in his right state of mind, but the facility said, no, this person is okay. Like, take him for trial. And I don't know what's up with our men I don't know what is wrong for you to get a 3-year-old girl, rape her, strangle her, and you wanted to take her to the bush, to bury her in the bush. That is inhuman.
That is inhuman. It's worse than an animal. Even animals don't do that. Lions, dogs, they don't do that. But you go and do that. I don't know if it's a fitting punishment. I'm glad he's dying. No offense. Sorry. I'm actually glad he's dying. But
No, Pastor Constance, you.
no. I tell you all the time, it's a good thing I'm not God. It's a good thing I'm not a judge. No, maybe here's the thing that people need to understand and why I get so angry about all of this. One, I'm a mother to an 8-year-old daughter, and a whole lot more other history that comes with that. You get my point. So it's inhumane, and it's just ish, guys. How do you get a 3-year-old? There are women parading themselves on the streets. Parading.
In fact, if you just tell them,
They can even, they can agree. It's just they are very free, very ready.
The other time I was watching news, and these prostitutes along a certain street were complaining that business
And that's the thing. They're there that actually complain that, like, they are girls. I'm female, so there are a lot of times when we're in conversations with they are girls that literally get up from their house to go get, at a club, not so that he pays or whatever. No, it's just in a mindset like, I just want to go get a man. And they go to the club and they go to wherever. There are women that are like that. And then you decide to get up from God knows where you are to go and get an innocent child, and even going to the extent of killing the child. But
I think most of them, like we've seen in the recent past, they have other motives other than just the sex that they are getting from these young ones. Like, for example, the serial killer we read yesterday, was also in the papers today, was because of wealth. The witch doctor told him that when you do this, you're going to be wealthy. So some of them do that because of that. They are being told. Others are being told, if you sleep with a young person, HIV will be out of your body. So others still believe such things, and that is something I think more information need to be taught, various sectors, to our people, whether it's about wealth, how to get wealth legitimately, whether it's about being cured of different diseases, how you cannot be cured by sleeping with someone that is young. Those days, I remember when I was in school, it was very prominent to hear that when you sleep with a virgin, for example, you'll be cured of HIV and AIDS. And someone would really look for a virgin and try to ask Constance, are you one? Okay, Constance is not. You go to another person, something like that. So these are some of the motives. For me, every time I hear of such, I always want to find out, what is the reason behind this person's thinking? Why did they want to get a 3-year? Because you can't tell me you're attracted to a 2-year-old or 6-month-old baby. No. So that one is not a factor. You're not attracted to them. So what is causing you to behave like a dog in such a, even dogs
it's
don't
not even
do
a
that.
dog. It's just, you're just behaving like a demon. Yes.
Like a demon.
You are literally behaving like a demon. See, this is why I'm glad, because it's demons. We cast out demons. They need to be cast out of society. Let's move on.
But I think that's what even the authorities really need to put into consideration. Really, some of the things that are causing people to behave like this, and find a way of ensuring that the gap is sealed. Like this serial killer. I can't believe that you go to a traditional doctor. You are told that if you kill these people, you'll be wealthy. You also believe that you go to kill people, over 10 people, to be wealthy. Who does that?
Here's what I would always want to ask people that go to witch doctors and get these medicines or get these illusions of go and do this. Have you seen the witch doctor himself? Is he wealthy?
Is he wealthy in the first place for you to even believe?
I always want to ask, like, how is somebody going to make you wealthy that has failed to make themselves wealthy?
You should even check where they are found. Very ugly, and someone stole at one of my businesses. Now, when we caught him, we took them to police station. The police, when they interrogated him, they tried to force the truth out of him. He said the witch doctor told him that when you steal this particular amount from this particular type of business, you will be wealthy. If you don't succeed at getting money, you run mad. So he had no choice but to ensure that he finds a way of stealing money from the business. He succeeded to steal the money. Luckily, we caught him and took him to the police station. But he confessed. Of course, we retrieved our money. But he confessed that the doctor warned him that if you fail this assignment, you will run mad. So these are some of the things that are happening outside. And I feel we need to also ensure that our people are sensitized. They are informed and be wary.
But what happens to like this one who is just claiming madness?
Let's go and check.
No, but that was obviously their plea. You get it? Their plea was he wasn't in his right state of mind. So let's go to the mental facility. So that was the plea that they went for because he didn't have any other reason. So what happens to people who?
This one is just a culprit. This one just a culprit. Now moving on. Yesterday we saw a couple of heads of state travel to Dodoma in Tanzania to attend the funeral service of the late Tanzanian President John Pombe Magufuli. Our own head of state, President Edgar Lungu, was among the various heads of state who also spoke at the service. President Lungu described Magufuli as a fearless son of Africa. Now, President Edgar Lungu says late Tanzanian leader John Magufuli was a fearless great son of Africa who had an enchanting personality. The president, who joined other heads of state in paying their last respects to Dr. Magufuli in Dodoma yesterday, said the death of his counterpart will forever be vividly imprinted in the minds and hearts of Tanzanians. So sad. He'll be buried, put to rest this week, Friday. We saw quite a number of heads of state, which was very, very good that we took time also to mourn. Very sad pictures coming from Tanzania of people in the streets running and crying. He was a loved, indeed, leader, which I would also want other African heads of state to be loved by their citizens like that. So sad to lose such a great son of the soil.
True. I remember my brother made a comment the other day, my older brother. He made a comment and he said, have you noticed how the leaders that actually look promising and look like, or come out to really want the good of the people are the ones that die or the ones that go, and then the bad ones are the ones that remain. It
I was
is
almost
really
tempted to ask which one are the bad ones. Like, no, let's leave it there.
But it's really, really sad.
Yeah.
And even when you see, I was on one of my friends from my Instagram friends from Tanzania, because we never actually met, and she's a celebrity in Tanzania, Rosary, and on her Instagram page and whatever, she posted how many people were actually complaining and talked about what was going on, at the time, and posted the people that were crying and why they were crying and how much they loved their president. And to see a president that is loved like that, that is, adored. People were really, really crying. There are even pictures of soldiers who, as strong as they want to be, and they have to stand in. They couldn't, and they were, tears were just falling. And for a man to cry, it has hurt. It has really, really hurt. So I mean, may his soul rest in peace. And I hope even as the Samaya Suluhu takes on the mantle, she continues with his legacy, because obviously he has built a very strong, rich
I loved
legacy.
what President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya mentioned during his speech, eulogy. He said he urged the new president to ensure she doesn't derail from what the legacy of Magufuli was rested upon, which is something which is really good for her if she continues. I know people have different visions.
Yes.
But for him to trust him for 2 terms, choosing him, even the previous election, he still chose her as a running mate. It shows that he knew that she's one that is capable of also taking up
and doing the same.
I also loved what one of the political commentators said through BBC, who said Soula is one of those that has been underrated. She seemed to be very calm, a calm politician, quite reserved. But some people, I loved the analysis. Say some people don't know how powerful she is. She's a very underrated politician, but yet they don't know the force that she can gallop, which is something we are looking forward to seeing from her.
Yes,
she becomes the first female president in Tanzania. She becomes the first vice president to become the president in Tanzania. So many records have
already
been
broken.
set,
Yes,
by
already
her.
broken.
Kudos to her. We're
Yes.
hoping all the best. I think it's a very, very difficult time for her to take up the mantle when the country is mourning. It's very different from other people that just take up the mantle.
Yes. And even for her, I mean, he's running mate for 2 terms. You know, at this point, he's not just my president. There was a friend. There was a friend there. There was maybe, you know, that, I don't know, there was a close relationship either way. So for her to actually, it must even be heartbreaking for her to be taking it up, you know, because she has lost somebody close to her. So it must be really, really hard on her as well. But with that in mind, that she is a force to reckon with, we cannot wait for that for us to even see. And hopefully she will change even the mindset of people that a woman cannot rule, you know, and rule well. So please rule well, so that, you know, we prove everybody else
We've had someone
wrong.
from, is it Libya?
Yeah,
that,
it was
Johnson.
Yes, Johnson
that,
Salif.
yes, that also proved to be one of those good leaders.
Really good leaders, exactly. We have messages that came in. Jimmy Tembo saying, good morning, watching from Chawama. Hi, Jimmy. Thank you so much for watching. Sichimba Moses watching from Kamala South. Jimmy Tembo commented on the sports. He said, I know our squad is good on paper, but this will end in tears. We messed up when we lost games we shouldn't have.
I rebuke it. Will not end in tears. I rebuke it.
Yes, so those are some of the messages that are coming in. Please do get interactive with us on Facebook. We are live on Facebook as we speak. Also on streaming on YouTube as well. So do get interactive with us on those platforms. We are also, you can also call us. You can also call us 0975-7405-18. I was going to ask, like, we're also on, like, how do you say we're also?
We're also callable. Call us. You're also callable. Other than just texting and commenting, we're also callable. Right?
Yes.
So that's a new word which should be added in the dictionary.
In the dictionary.
I saw this other story, something which I don't know why we've never had a permanent solution to this. ZNS enrolls street kids. Now, over 550 street children have been enrolled on skills training programs under the Zambia National Service. Now, Minister of Youth, Sport and Child Development, Namwinga, said government has so far picked up 570 children from the streets around the country. The minister said the gender divide is 350 boys and 220 girls. The boys have been taken to the ZNS camp in Katete, Eastern Province, while the girls are at a camp in Kitwe on the Kapabelt Province. But this is the but which I was even when I was reading the story, I was expecting this but. But I want to mention that 17 street kids from the 350 that were taken to Katete for reformation have since run away. The kids have escaped because there was no Bostik, a chemical they sniff as a drug. They also think this program is not important to them because they are used to being on the streets. I've seen the minister, I think kudos to him. He's, from the time he was appointed Minister of Youth, Sports and Child Development, we've seen his passion for street kids. We've seen him ensure street kids are captured, taken to skills development centers. But they keep running away. They keep dodging these centers because
it's because they're addicted, you know. The thing is, kids are taken into orphanages and then they're just sort of put there, you get, and it's all about
development.
Yeah, no. You are. This is an addict. They need psychological therapy.
So
they need
something missing.
Yes, they need psychological therapy. They need to be talked to. They need to be treated the way addicts are actually treated. You know how in certain rehabilitation centers they'll even lock you up in a room for a bit, to get you to even deal, because there's there's those withdrawal, whatever. It doesn't, a lot of things don't make sense. So there's a whole lot of that actually needs to be done. I do know, however, that we really don't have the facilities, we really don't have the manpower to do that, and I understand as to why there is that gap. But at the end of the day, like, these are addicts. They are addicts, they're addicted, and they are not just addicted to the drugs. They're addicted to holding money every day. They are addicted to they have the, what do you call it, the victim syndrome. They want to be looked at as, you are empowering them, you're taking that away. That is the hardest thing for a person that has gotten used to being the victim, to being the one that people feel sorry for, and and then all of a sudden you have to tell them, man up and become, you get my point?
So the process is something that needs to be looked at, relooked,
exactly, yes.
The intention is good.
Yes, very much.
I think the mechanisms put in place are the ones which are not sustainable, considering that the mental damage has already been caused.
A lot. Exactly. Yes.
The other time I was visiting one of the rehab centers, without mentioning names, one of the private rehab centers of certain school, which is very prominent, of course, in Lusaka. I was just trying to appreciate the work that they do, and they mentioned that, like you indicated, for someone that is an addict, there's different ways they treat them, other than just others that are gotten from the streets.
Yes.
There's different measures therapists have to come through to ensure that they also talk to them. So it's a process, and I think that's something that the Minister of Youth, Sports and Child Development really needs to look at, in as much as the intention to remove the street kids from the street is good, but let's have something more sustainable, something that is workable, a more workable system.
Yes.
But otherwise, let these efforts continue going as they've been.
As they are, yes. For me, I always used to feel like another, and I don't know if this is a good or a bad solution, but I always used to feel like, the fact that you get a street kid from the streets of Lusaka, who knows the streets of Lusaka like the back of their hand, and then you take them to an orphanage in the central business district, it's very easy to run away. It's very, very easy. You get my point? Because they're just going back to where they are from. They haven't. But what happens if you take a street kid from Lusaka and go and take them to an orphanage in northern province?
Across the country.
Okay.
To
To places they don't know.
Yes.
I think that actually
and they've run away.
works.
I don't even know the means they used to run. If you're from northern province, you're in Katete, like how do you even go back to it?
That's the thing, you'd have, but like I said, an addict would do the craziest thing to get what they want, and I mean, we've heard of stories of them starting to sell stuff in their own home, selling their bodies, so like I said, there's a lot of psychological help that they need for them to actually get to a better place.
Can we stop giving money to street kids?
That has actually been advocated for. It has been advocated for. If you want to render help to a street kid, give them food or give them.
If you give them food,
something,
they know that tomorrow there will also be food. They will continue being on the streets.
So it's like stop.
So they know that even if we're on the streets, we're not receiving help. So they'll be forced to comply with what the minister.
I mean, maybe that would be another. I do know that the money has already been advocated for. Like, do not give street kids money. Do not give anyone on the streets. Do not give them money, because it makes them always come back, and then they buy the same glue stick and whatever. But when it comes to like food and so on and so forth, I guess I don't know. Maybe like stop. It's hard though. Have you ever seen a child, 3-year-old baby come to you and just say, I'm hungry, and asking for Fanta or asking for whatever you're holding as at that time?
One time, a certain young girl came to me. I said, coin. First time I coin. Like, I want to buy my buns. And I tell her, and they want tuma. Some are sent by the parents.
Some are sent by the parents.
For me, I don't give. Because I'm promoting that to continue, because they know that if I go on the streets, I'll still receive money. So it's like a business.
Yeah.
If you know this particular venture gives you money, why stop it? Mm-hmm. So let's stop giving money. Maybe, I don't know what you think, really. This is just my views. What do you think? Maybe one of the ways we can help curb street kids on the street is by you and I stop giving them anything on the streets, even if they come to say send them back home, take them to the Ministry of Sports, take them to an orphanage. I don't know what you think. Drop us your comments live, both on Facebook as well as YouTube. Want to hear from you. Like Constance said, we are also callable. You can also call us on 0975-740518. This is Millennium Kwacha, your first and only business breakfast show, coming to you live from our Longacre studios right here in the capital city, Lusaka. Today we want to discuss also the importance of saving. I don't know how what percentage you save, Constance. Do you save money?
I do save, but it's a very, from what I heard yesterday, I do the 10%, 10%. So it's 10% save, 10% tithe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the 10% save that you do,
yeah,
you put it separate account. How do you do it?
So not really separate account, but so I have the account with the bank, and then I have mobile money. So it usually goes in my mobile money.
Your 10% will become mobile money, the one you can easily get.
I know, right? That's the problem. And then usually, because we've had the whole, it's for a rainy day kind of situation. Yeah. So whenever I have a rainy day, that's the money I kind of use. And I've never felt bad about it, because that's what I thought it was for. You know, it's for a rainy day when there's emergencies, when something happens. But then because of the craziness that we're going through right now, there are lots of rainy days. So you actually find yourself, like at the end of the month, you really don't even have like savings. But, you know, as from yesterday, I was even just telling myself, just put yourself on that percentage where you waste, you spend everything. That's just take yourself there. You know, let's not even fuel ourselves that no, we save, so we're okay. No. To make sure that I change, I have just told myself, you are amongst those people where the salary goes before it even comes in. It's already gone before it comes in. That's where you are. So now you need to change your mindset and start saving and putting away money for investment.
That's being honest. I don't know, really. Constance is just being honest today, just being frank. Yeah. So I don't know what mechanism you use to save. What's the best way to ensure that even the money you're saving is not easily accessible? But I think it should be easily accessible, because what if there's an emergency?
That's the thing, though. That's the thing. But then, like, maybe like he said, where you have the percentage that is for rainy days, that comes from that 70% that he was talking about, and then the 20% is for the investment. So maybe for the investment, put it in an account that you there are those accounts, the savings account that they'll tell you can only get after this period of time. Yes. So yeah, maybe that 20% goes in there, and it will hurt. Trust me, it will hurt when you put it in there and you're thinking you can't get it tomorrow.
I have one, and sometimes certain moments I will need money and be like, oh my God, the maturity period is until the next 6 months. Be like, right now I don't have money in the pockets, but trust me, I have money somewhere.
Yeah,
but
which is actually a good thing if you.
There's a feeling that you have when you know that you've got some money.
It's kind of like the feeling you have when you know that person owes you, that person owes you, that person owes you, and then you're just like, okay, when everything hits the fan, it's just go people like, fam, pay up, pay me up, and you will get a solution. What hurts is not having any money anywhere. There's no money in your pocket, there's no money in your bank, there's no money in your mobile account, there's no money with anyone out there in the world. That one just hurts, because when it goes crazy, it's just gone crazy, which leads a lot of people to the borrowing and
interest. Yeah. This is Millennium Kwacha. We go on a break. When we get back, we move straight into the news updates at 8. Don't forget, today we have a fully packed show. We discuss clean energy. I don't know what that really is, clean energy. We have someone coming to talk to us about that. We also have Arnold Nyendwa, who will be joining us, one of the young inventors we have in the country. Will be joining us shortly. Now we go on a break. We'll be back on the other side.
It is packaged to perfection, trending topics that we will be discussing to make sure you know exactly what's happening in the world of social media and, of course, our very own country.
Exactly. We don't just limit ourselves to the country, but we also move across the borders with the best in international news, policy making. We also bring experts to bring to you right information right here on The Breakfast Show.
And if you've got questions, we got you covered too. Like we said, we're on Facebook, so comment, leave your questions. We will be able to answer them. And if we can, trust me, we're gonna get somebody that can.
Yeah, join us every day, Monday to Saturday.
It's Constance and Paul.
Oh, Paul and Constance.
No, definitely Constance and Paul.
Paul and Constance.
Definitely Constance.
Paul and Constance. 7 to 9.
Millennium TV. TV. Millennium TV. Women Business.
We are here, Constance.
We are here. Thank you so much for staying tuned in to Millennium Kwacha, your first and your favorite business breakfast show. Kwacha, where is there, hey? Okay, so let's go straight into the news headlines. World Vision aids Mbala schools, Kapiri Mposhi roads to receive a facelift, and Kenyan police officers to go on trial for British aristocrat's death in international stories. Now, for the details, World Vision in Mbala has donated assorted COVID-19 materials to schools in the district valued at 435,000 kwacha. The materials include 105 thermal scanners, 210 by 650 milliliters hand washing liquid soap, and 105 by 25 kilogram containers of granular chlorine. World Vision Mbala Area Development Program Manager Mpengo Simutami said the materials are meant to help schools in the district fight COVID-19. Mr. Simutami, who presented the items to the district administration in Mbala, said World Vision values the health of the children. He said the organization is committed to ensuring that children are educated and experience the love of God. Mr. Simutami stated that all primary and secondary schools in the area will benefit from the materials. And Mbala District Commissioner Mabin Chibalange thanked World Vision Zambia for the donation. Mr. Chibalange noted that government has continued to enjoy a good working relationship with World Vision Zambia. He has since implored school managers to ensure that they put the materials to good use. And speaking at the same occasion, acting Mbala District Education Board Secretary Wilfred Chilala said that the materials will help schools in the area prevent and detect any possible cases of COVID-19. Mr. Chilala has since thanked World Vision for assisting schools in the district. The government has awarded 119 million kwacha tender to 2 contractors to rehabilitate a total of 200 kilometers of feeder roads in Kapiri Mposhi district. The feeder roads to be rehabilitated include those leading to all the 3 chiefdom places, namely Chipepo, Nkole and Munkonchi in the district. Kapiri Mposhi Town Council Public Relations Officer Chris Mulaliki has disclosed the development to the news today. Mr. Mulaliki said the scope of the road works comprise full graveling, repair and installation of new culverts and bridges on the targeted roads. Mr. Mulaliki noted that the rehabilitation of the feeder roads in the rural parts of the district will ease movements of farming inputs and create better market opportunities for agricultural produce in the area. He urged the beneficiary communities to guard the roads against vandals once worked on. Tevium Enterprises Limited and Luvius Limited are the ones that have been contracted to undertake the road rehabilitation project. In international news, 4 Kenyan policemen will stand trial after a judge ruled on Monday that they had a case to answer in the death of the British aristocrat Alexander Manson, who died in police custody in 2012. The 28-year-old was arrested outside a nightclub at the Diani Beach Resort on the south coast on suspicion of smoking cannabis. The ruling in Mombasa comes after a lengthy legal battle by his family. Police said he died of a drug overdose, but his family disputes this and says he was in good health. A toxicology report ordered by the family showed he had not taken drugs at the time of his death, and 2 reports by government pathologists said he died from a traumatic blow to the head. An inquest also found there were attempts to cover up the incident as well as threats against witnesses. Manson is heir to a family estate in Lincolnshire in the north of England. And still in international news, armed men have killed at least 40 people in raids on villages near Niger's border with Mali, an area that has seen increasingly deadly attacks by armed groups with links to the Islamic State and Al-Qaeda. The attacks occurred on Sunday in 3 villages in the Tahoa region, abutting the Tilaberi region in the so-called tri-border area, a flashpoint zone where the frontiers of Niger, Burkina Faso and Mali converge. The insurgencies in West Africa's Sahel has killed hundreds and nearly 500,000 people have fled their homes. On March 15, 66 people were killed in the Tilaberi region when suspected jihadists attacked a bus carrying passengers from the market town of Banibango and then raided the village of Dairadaye, killing inhabitants and torching grain stores. On January 2nd, 100 people were killed in attacks on 2 villages in the Manguez district of Talibar. The massacre, one of the worst in Niger's history, occurred between 2 rounds of the country's presidential election. The killing underscored the massive security challenges facing Niger's President Mohamed Bazoum, who was elected in February. A 5,000-strong Frenchman counter-terrorism offensive targets the militants, including some in a group aligned with the Islamic State known as ISWAP, an offshoot of Boko Haram. The Nigerian government did not immediately confirm the latest attack. That's it for international stories.
In the sports news, the Football Association of Zambia FAZ has launched the inaugural Women's Football League in Northern Province. Speaking during the launch in Kasama, FAZ Provincial Women Representative Beauty Namwinga said the move to introduce the league is aimed at developing women's football. Namwinga expressed confidence that the development will help shape the future of women's game at both provincial and national level. And FAZ Provincial Chairperson Mwansa Kapianga said the launch of the Women's Football League is in line with the association's commitment to develop women's football at grassroots level. He said the coming in of the league will also give hope to youths, especially girls in the region. Kabianga was flanked by his Vice Provincial Chairperson Lakson Daka, added that the FAZ wants to build an inclusive and sustainable future for women and girls football in the country. He disclosed that 12 women teams from across the province have since been selected to participate in the inaugural league. Meanwhile, Kasama District Administrative Officer Beauty Namkoko said the development will improve women's football in the province and create more opportunities for the players. I'm very excited with this initiative by FAZ to introduce a women's football league in the province because the game is evolving, hence the need to keep up, she said. Namkoko urged the players to be disciplined and desist from engaging in vices that could ruin their future. And participating teams have thanked FAZ for launching the league, saying this is a big step for players in the province. Mungwi Hotspurs football team captain Beatrice Munaile and her Pride Stars counterpart Diana Zulu say the league will enable players to showcase their talents. Still in sports news, still in local sports news, Chipolopolo striker Patson Daka has issued a rallying call to the team ahead of Thursday's must-win 2021 AFCON Group H home qualifier against the defending champions Algeria. Patson, of Australian champions, arrived in camp on Monday together with his clubmate and midfielder Enoch Mwepu. Others that arrived on Monday are South African-based midfielders Roddy Kawe and Augustine Mlenga of Black Leopards and Amazulu respectively, together with Rubambo Msonda of Slack in Poland to complete the team after the other foreign-based call-ups trickled in from Wednesday through to Sunday. Zambia must win their last 2 Group H qualifiers against Algeria in Lusaka on the 25th of March and away in Zimbabwe on the 29th of March, and then beat the odds to finish in the top 2. Chipolopolo are bottom of Group H on 3 points, 1 point behind third place Botswana, who host number 2 side Zimbabwe also on Thursday. Zimbabwe have 5 points, while leaders Algeria are on 10 points and have qualified with 2 games in hand, with their only interest now just to confirm their final top 2 qualifying spot classification. Meanwhile, Zambia will be without striker Justin Shonga of Cape Town City Football Club in South Africa and Belgium-based striker Fashion Sakala, who are both injured. In international sports, Chris Paul became the 6th man in the NBA history to reach 10,000 assists as his Phoenix Suns team beat Los Angeles Lakers side without LeBron James. Paul, 35, scored 11 points with 10 rebounds and 13 assists as the Suns beat the Lakers 111-94. James injured his ankle in a defeat by the Atlanta Hawks on Saturday. Charlotte Hornets point guard LaMelo Ball could be out of the season after he broke his wrist against the Los Angeles Clippers on Saturday. That's it for sports news. We move straight to money markets. The Zambian Kwacha was trading at 21.99 against the US dollar, 30.41 against the British pound, 26.22 against the euro, and 1.48 against the South African rand. Now the South African rand was little changed at 14.7 against the greenback, as the dollar lost some ground while traders monitored turmoil in Turkey after the president unexpectedly fired the country's central bank governor during the weekend. On the local front, investors' focus turned to the South African Reserve Bank monetary policy meeting this week, at which policymakers are widely expected to hold interest rates unchanged. Also, inflation figures and the central bank leading indicator will be closely watched. Now, the British pound traded little change below 1.39, with investors cautious over the country's vaccination rollout, as the EU is expected to deny authorizations to ship AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine and their ingredients to the UK until the drug maker fulfills its delivery obligations to the 27-nation bloc. Also, the government asked Britons not to book summer holidays abroad, as coronavirus cases in some countries like France, Italy, and Germany increase. On the monetary policy front, the Bank of England left monetary policy unchanged and failed to signal any increase to central bank's bond buying in the coming months during its March meeting. The euro traded around 1.19 as investors were generally cautious amid a turmoil in Turkey after the president fired the respected central bank chief with a critique of high interest rates after the central bank raised rates by 200 basis points last week. Meanwhile, traders continue to worry over the surge in COVID-19 cases across Europe and the negative impact of restrictive measures on the vaccine and delays in the economic recovery. On the monetary policy front, investors await fresh data on the ECB weekly bond purchases as the central bank is seen accelerating the pace of bond buying. Finally, the weather this morning. We begin with our capital city. Lusaka will be partly sunny. It's going to be a good day in Lusaka today. Temperature currently stands at 24 degrees Celsius, but expected to climb to 25 in the afternoon and drop to 19 degrees Celsius in the evening. Ndola will be humid with times of clouds and sun, a thunderstorm in some spots later on in the afternoon. Temperature in Ndola currently stands at 24 degrees Celsius, but expected to climb to 25 in the afternoon and drop to 18 degrees Celsius later in the evening. In the east, Chipata will experience some sun, then turning cloudy and humid with some thunderstorms in some parts of the area. Temperature in Chipata currently stands at 26 degrees Celsius, but expected to drop to 24 degrees Celsius in the afternoon and further drop to 19 later on in the evening. Finally, our tourist capital, Livingstone, will be sunny to partly cloudy and pleasant. Temperature currently stands at 28 degrees Celsius, but expected to climb to 30 degrees Celsius in the afternoon and further drop to 20 in the evening. That's it for the news updates at 8. This is Millennium Kwacha with Paul and Constance.
Constance and Paul.
Paul and Constance.
Constance and Paul.
Well, yeah, that's Constance. Yeah, but we have so much coming up for you on the breakfast show. After the break, we discuss innovative entrepreneurship with one great entrepreneur, Arnold Nyendo, will be joining us shortly after this.
Who are we? What are we about? Say you want to learn about business or get latest news updates in business news, social and economic issues, stock exchange, latest exchange rates, and all financial matters, or you want to learn on how to manage your money from savings, banking, insurance, to maybe our new traditional way of doing things like village banking. And if you're like me, planning and constantly making sound financial decisions is essential. So I need to keep abreast with upcoming investments, taxes, technology, or entrepreneurship prospects. Interesting, right? So what if I told you by just one click you can learn from mining, agriculture, tourism, manufacturing services, and yes, entertainment industries. After all, the more you know about money, the better financially you will be. So who are we? What are we about? Millennium TV, your first business and financial news television channel. Catch us on Top Star, Channel 95, or follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Millennium TV, we mean business. TV. 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 Millennium TV. We mean business. Millennium TV. 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 Millennium TV. We mean business.
Our cry on this show has been how to be innovative even as we are youths, and a lot of people are coming through to empower the youth to make sure that we are truly the future of tomorrow. So today we've decided to talk about innovation or innovative entrepreneurship, and we invited global inventor and entrepreneur Arnold Nyendwa. He is the founder of the first stainless steel stove in Africa, and we're going to be hearing all about that and all about his journey. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me on TV. It's really an honor.
Awesome. All right. Stainless steel, you know, for most of the time, you don't actually think about the material your stove is made of. You just think it's a stove, it's going to light up when I turn it on, and I'm going to, you know, cook. Tell us why you decided on the stainless steel, what makes it different. Tell us about the first ever stainless steel stove in Africa.
Okay, so the whole journey started in 2015, 5 years ago, when we were hit a bit of some load shedding, and went on also due to every summer I would travel to Eastern Province where my village is, so I would see women cooking on fire. Mm-hmm. So I think from there, with the load shedding, those two influences started clicking in my mind to say, why don't I build something that will be able to sort this problem? So from there, I started with a mild steel product. Mm-hmm. That was way back in 2015 to 2016. Then by 2016, I got a partnership deal with Southern Africa Stainless Steel Development Association. Okay. In South Africa, Cape Town. That's where we now changed it from a mild steel to stainless steel. Stainless steel, by then the product only started as a product that would be powered with solid fuel because we didn't have electricity, and it was a product that would cook, bake, fry, roast, warm, and braise just using solid fuel.
Wait, before you move on, when you say solid fuel, what exactly is solid fuel? So
solid fuel, you'd use pellets, you'd use charcoal, but it was a kind of well-organized system inside that would heat up properly. Okay. So, but after releasing that in 2018, we got a recognition and an award, the first of its kind in the stainless steel industry from the Zambian side, which it went on to be a world-class product in 2018. But looking at that, I felt like I needed to give something better. So I went on, so the product was done, fast forward, in 3 countries. Zambia, then it went on to Cape Town, released in 2018. Then I went on to China now, where I went to build now a 3-in-1 stove that would cook, that would use gas, electricity, and solid fuel. So a 3-in-1 now, which is a version we released early this year. Okay. Yes, so that's the one now that has gotten the attention from different parts, and we're looking at scaling it up via Alibaba and Amazon worldwide.
Nice.
Yeah.
When you talk about how you got the partnership with the stainless steel, now you've just mentioned that you got the partnership. What happened in the getting the partnership? Were you applying? Did they just see it and contact you?
Okay. So I went for an exhibition in 2016 at the Agriculture and Commercial Show. So I was during the exhibition, then one of the CEO, the current CEO, has been giving me mentorship, Michel Basson, for about the past 3 years. He approached me, we looked at the product, and he said, this product is a big potential to help not only Zambia but South Africa. But does your president know about this? That was his first question. I was like, no, I've never met him, and I don't know what it means. So they organized a meeting, and we were able to meet President Lungu, and we got his blessings and congratulatory messages where we went through the South African embassy to go and develop it. So that's how we landed to that deal from South. Then from the South Africa, there were certain things that were supposed to happen. We were supposed to start manufacturing from South Africa, bring them to Zambia. Of course, we had some future plans of expanding them across the African continent. But that didn't really work on time because of a number of issues that we didn't agree on. So from there, in 2019, I went on an independent deal from South Africa. Now they moved to China. Went on an independent deal where I went to find my own people whom I would find within my own network, because by then I was using the Southern Africa Stainless Steel Development Association network. Yeah, so that's how I landed to those two partnerships and deals. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. I'm trying to picture the stove itself. Okay. Where is it?
It's in Zambia.
I thought you bring it. Is it big?
Yeah, it is big. So we have two versions. There's the first version we did in South Africa. That one doesn't use it just uses solid fuel. But on it, for the first time, you can bake using just solid fuel. For example, if you have little char, you can bake. If you have coke, you can bake. If you have pellets, you can bake. You can fry, you can cook, you can roast, you can warm, you can fry. Then it has 12 bolts and 12 nuts. You're able to dismantle it. For example, if you're using it for indoors and you want to go with it outside in camps, you're able to break it and to carry them in pieces. That's the same version with this, the improved one, the 3-in-1 that uses gas, electricity, and so on one product.
Awesome.
Still, you can break it. So you have, these permanent stoves in homes, and you can't move them. And when they are there, they are there. So now, instead of you buying a gas stove, you buy an electric stove, and you buy another thing for a version. So we have 1-in-1, and that you can use either indoors or outdoors.
Congratulations, you have a big brain. Your body is very deceiving. Very deceiving. But now, is it on the market already?
So in 2018, we were supposed to do our first launch of the first version we did. But of course, we were waiting for, as I said, I was waiting to give something better of that version of that. Because remember, we're coming from a mild steel point. So right now, currently, there are different discussions because we are looking at how much hot this product has been, getting attention of awards in Europe, in US. So I wouldn't want to be looking at the scenario of a Zambian setup to be a businessman, to be doing business. So I'm putting
You've seen better grass somewhere.
No, not that home. Home is home, and home here things will happen. But I'm talking about how the demand. Having a product, it's about how many people you can sell that to. Yeah, I shouldn't only look at the population because I'm looking at the demand. So right now, I'm putting everything in order. Hopefully by the end of this year, we'll be able to get to a global scale. Because there's a partnership we've done with Tumshon Machinery in China. So we'll be able also to do something like when we manufacture from there. Because right now we don't have the capacity and the machines in Zambia to produce that because they're really a bit expensive. So I did a partnership with the guys who have the machines. And on a license, I'll be paying them. They are not getting any shares. I'm still owning everything 100% shares. No any shares involved. Only monies to pay them once they manufacture. We're able to ship according to orders that are made any part of the world. So that's the whole thing we're working on.
So at the moment, you don't have any?
They're there, the products, but we haven't yet pushed them on the market.
Okay. Yeah. Do you know the range in terms of, because sometimes...
the range of the price?
Yeah, because sometimes we have very, very good products that are advanced, with better features, like compared to what we already have on the market. Yeah. But I find that the price is triple what we already have, and it doesn't make sense to the ordinary Zambian to even get your product. Yeah. How is the price range? Something cheaper than what our Zambian people are used to?
Very much cheap because I'll give, for instance, the 3-in-1 because that's the most advanced one. You get it within the ranges of starting from 2,000 to 3,000. You can't believe it. And as time goes by, we're working with them. They'll be very much affordable. Yeah, and they're using stainless steel because, most of the products that are on the market are using mild steel. And
what is so bad about using
mild steel? It's not sustainable. It's fast corrosion. in terms of rust, and also
the stoves that we use in our homes is smart steel.
Yes.
When last did you experience corrosion?
No, it does happen though. It does happen.
It's not within the body, mostly internals. When you check the cables down there.
But even just with bodies, I think,
yeah,
like I do agree on,
paint
especially at
out.
the back.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember, maybe even the time maybe I was in my parents' home or maybe my own home when I had a problem with corrosion for my stove.
Okay, so corrosion doesn't come to you necessarily. Corrosion comes into the environment because now we're doing something sustainable, sustainability. So with stainless steel, it's 100%. You can recycle it, and it can stay for a long time without that. Okay. You know, so also looking at the environment, because corrosion has an effect on the environment also. So all those issues are coming in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so now I want to know though, before the whole idea of the stainless steel stoves and you creating this, what were you doing before? Have you always been an inventor? You know, have you always, what went into, you know, if you've already been doing this, you've already been inventing, it makes it a whole lot more like something that you already do. But what was where were you before this?
Okay, so I grew up like playing football, like any other boy would do it, you know. But everything switched for me when I was in my grade 10. I think when I went to my grade 10, I was by Shingongo boys in Eastern Province. And yes, Chismet. So I joined Jets, and by then the Jets had dismantled a bit because there were issues of riots at school. Then we had just to restart everything. So my first year joining Jets, the first 2 years I used just to do research works. The first research was how to use purple seeds to prevent yourself from being sick of malaria. So went on well, and it got the first prize on the district and provincial. Then it went on to, the other year I did how to stop nose bleeding using onion. Did that research, also worked well. But my goal at first was just to, you know, reach the nationals. And so in 2015, when I was in my last year, then that's how I landed on this product. I remember sitting down in class, dotting down, drawing something on paper, saying I want to make something that will solve this problem. Then from there, when I went to university in 2016 at Mulungushi, I continued with the same journey, but of course other products started coming in. Like in 2018, I embedded also another product, which is a dry cleanable pillow.
Pardon?
Dry cleanable pillow. So you don't have to wash it always when it's dirty. You can just dry clean away. When it touches mud, you just dry clean it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, then should be the other year, 2017.
Your innovations are...
I know, right? Out of this world.
Like, how?
Yeah, then in 2017, I went on also to do something like a washable mattress. When it's dirty, you can break it into pieces, you wash it. Then you turn it also. It can bend on any angle, and you can, like, push it all together like that. And
where's that mattress? I think
they are within those, but you know, I'm trying to push product by product.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't want to have.
First of all, so that washable. Okay, let me begin with the dry
cleanable pillow.
Yes. Was it ever pushed to the market?
Yes, I did. Probably I sold a lot than the stoves at first. Okay. Yeah, because the stoves have sold quite a number, close to about 200. Then I had an order about 600 at some point. But the pillows, they sold a lot more, especially the time I was in uni.
I want one. Where can I find?
Yeah, I'll make for you since I'm here.
They're on the market right now.
They were there on the market, but you know, I did put a stop because this project, the stove is really demanding, and it really gets a lot of my time.
Then the mattress were there.
So you're working on your own?
No. I have a team.
Okay, I'm trying to to just understand. Okay.
Yeah, we have a team.
The mattress, where is it? Is it on the market as well?
I've said I haven't pushed the mattress, I haven't pushed the pillows on the market. The pillows are the only things that went on the market.
So even the stove, in case something new comes up, you're going to say,
No. I feel like the stove is your first love, eh?
Yeah, it's my first invention. It has to go, and it's already there. You know, that's the one that has gotten me all these awards.
So you traveled to the US to get that?
No, it was virtual.
It was virtual.
Oh, okay. So all of these awards, because you've gotten quite a number of awards. There's the under 30 future of Zambia and
So
science.
that one, it's a nomination.
Oh, that one is a nomination
it's yet
only.
to happen next month. Hopefully I'll win.
What about the CEO Today Africa Magazine Award? Also a nomination?
It's recent. I won. There'll be new K after next month. I won this one.
Awesome. There's so many. There's the Mwapepia Awards as the most understanding entrepreneur, the award ceremony.
Outstanding.
So that one was, you won that one?
Yes, I won also.
So many awards that you have won. Did you ever see this when you were creating the stainless steel? Did you even know it would become as big as it is?
No, because at first for me I was just saying I want to solve a problem. You know? Then award kept on coming. Right now I've maybe penning awards close to, for this year, just about 3-1 in Nigeria. It will be happening after tomorrow, after 24th, 25th. So I just thank God. At the end of the day, for me, I just see that it's not about me only, because the people, ma'am, friends, the media, of course, this one, because you can't do with the media really helps, and just also my belief of God being involved in everything. So I didn't see everything happen, because right now we've joined the World Alliance for Efficient Solutions.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a very big move. We only have about eight companies that are in Zambia that are part of this alliance.
Nice.
So there'll be big moves also within that. So a lot of different things that we are looking at and we're tapping into. So I didn't see this coming, but you know, as things go by and you have passion and you follow your dream, things will keep on making sense.
Do you think you've gotten enough support though from the government, from the people? Are people coming through to, you know, apart from just celebrate the fact that we've got a genius in our country, you know, help you out, you know, even with capacity, because these things require money, a lot of funds, a lot of capital going into, you know, all of those creations. Do you think you've gotten enough support though?
I'll be honest enough, you know, in 2018 when I won the International Stainless, a very prestigious award, very, very amazing. It was my first international award in 2018. We did come back in Zambia. I perched, can't remember, because the whole deal was about even giving us congratulatory messages, was for us to be able to create this thing and to build a plant. Now a plant was supposed to be here in Zambia. We did everything in the numbers, but somehow, somewhere, COVID hit us bad.
Okay.
Then they couldn't still pick it up, you know, because, so I had, you know, as a person, you start looking at the future, because there are those steps that I lost, and I wouldn't want to go back on that. I need to keep on building the consistency. Yeah. So that's how even everything, the moves to the Asian, all those happened. But of course, we're supposed to come back here. Zambians are amazing. They're behind this product. It's amazing, and the support is really big and huge. And you know, in as much as there might be people who might be there to support, there also will be people who will be criticizing. You know, it's normal. It's part of life. You have just to keep up with everything. At the end of the day, what is important is to focus. No matter how much differences or people opinions they may be there, or others may come in trying to block, because I believe nothing comes to existence for me without God. Because for me, I just do what I'm shown, or what my brain, what it puts in my head, and I have just to pursue it. So that's how the journey has been. Others are good. Others, of course, they will try to, you know, like here and there, but they won't stop it, because we're already there.
How have you managed to raise resources for this?
So, okay, so some have been personal savings, family, and also awards. So
The awards come with a lot of dollars, right?
Most of the awards are Zambia. Okay, I've some awards, of course, some monies are within, some monies, of course. Okay, the whole thing has been, you know, it's that thing, you're doing something. And the people, they love it. Like the South African deal. I never spend a single coin. You know, they just coming in. There are also people just who support your work and like that, yeah. So it has been full of, so I'm saying, like, there have been friends, there have been people who are there just in little, you know,
support, yes.
I tell people, say, making a difference, you don't have to have money or a car. You know, even a 20 Kwacha will make a difference in somebody's life. You don't have to wait to be rich. Yeah, so even words, they make a difference in my life. It's not always about money. Yeah, just the word. So, God always makes this way for me, like to get there, to still, yeah.
Your company has full-time employees?
Yes.
Just some pro bono kind of work?
No, Venturers, I have the deputy, Renzi, she's full-time. There's Raf, business development, is full-time. There's also the tech guy. So we are 4 like full-time. But of course, the person who is chairing the board is my dad, also a bit of full-time. But
your dad, your father?
Yes. So, but the rest of the other guys, maybe if we need hiring of work, we get them.
How are you sustaining those operations now? They need salaries every month. You need money for operations. How are you sustaining financially?
We know how we navigate around monies because there is a structure that we have put up. For example, you know, I don't only do work for my own thing, you know, because there are people also hire me for consultants in different fields. Because I'm able to, if you're consulting me in any field, I'm able to help you in any field.
Any field?
Yeah.
Any field?
Yeah.
Here's my question though. Like I said, you are literally a genius, right? Why did you decide on developmental studies at Mulungushi? You know, I was thinking you do maybe something like engineering, which comes down to you inventing, you know, but then you went for developmental studies.
Did
Why?
you wrong course?
No, I didn't never do the wrong course. And this has nothing to do with the course. That's the problem we have been taught.
Yeah.
We've been perceived. Say, first you have, okay, me I'll prove to you. You see this phone that I'm holding in my hands? Before school came, this guy never went to school who made this phone. An idea dropped in his head and this phone was here. And the rest of the things that now they're teaching you how to make softwares everywhere. Or the next thing you have mechanics. The first guy who made a car never went to school. Then you have cars, now you have everyone doing mechanics. So that shows you that school came before ideas. So ideas, you don't have to go to school for ideas. They just drop in your head. But of course they don't come out fully formed because you have to keep on working on them to perfect them. So this has nothing to do with my school and everything. It's just something that is in me. Of course school helps to open up eyes here and there because you're able to see, to understand the environment of information. It's very important. But so for me, I went to school. First, I went to do agriculture.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's another second field that I'm passionate about. Then during that time, you know, they pushed me into these things of natural sciences.
Okay.
And it really, really, really went a bit bad for me because, trust me, I wasn't good in math and I never liked math. So I left. Then I went to join DS because mom and dad also did DS. I used to admire the work they used to do, working with orphans, you know, having these policies and a number of things. And I did realize that developmental studies has economics, has everything, health, everything. So that helped me also to be to have more knowledge in terms of a number of fields, you know.
Okay.
I'm able to sort issues in health, I'm able to sort issues in agriculture, in a number of fields. That didn't limit me. In fact, it opened up more of my mind. Okay. Yeah, so that's, DS is not a wrong course, very, very...
Yeah, it's right one for you.
Yeah, because in my fourth year should be there is something like, so that's a stove now. That's a 3-in-1 stove, that one.
Awesome.
3-in-1 stove, yeah. So there is also the, you know, there is...
Quite big, yeah?
Yeah. So there is...
3 plates?
So that the other, this is the smallest. There's a gas plate there, and also the 2 plates for the electricity. This is the smallest version you can get, but the bigger you want, the more the plates can be, you know, in terms of, yeah.
So you can customize it based on someone's preference?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have like about 3 versions. Yeah.
Awesome. I would love to have a 6-plate one.
Okay. Yeah, so that's it.
Okay, so now with the invention, I want to find out that there are so many hubs out there that I know, I can't mention names, but there are so many hubs that are helping out startup businesses. Have you ever applied to any of those hubs?
Trust me, there are a lot of hubs that are happening, and I'm happy that I'm on site. Let me shoot them a bit. Yeah, there are a number of hubs that I'll use the term, they claim to support innovation, but they don't implement real things here in Zambia. And mostly, you know, there's this issue of some, maybe they would even, until you make money as an entrepreneur, or maybe they want really that money. But at the end of the day, these hubs that are there, for me, was one of them that has really worked out for me. That is brilliant. I would recommend all the Zambian entrepreneurs to go there. It's WIAC.
Okay.
You know,
because they gave you money?
Yes.
No. They never gave me money. Just the support. You know, they gave me support before I even became their member. They've been there. Yeah, like things, I've seen things move. You know, you're affiliated to this hub and you can't see a difference move. You can't see a change.
Okay.
So there's been a change like that.
So you have contacted a number of these hubs, and from what you have realized
since 2016. Yes.
Okay, awesome.
What do you think is a challenge with them, really?
Some resources, some piling up information, just, you know, to keep business running or to keep that we are working, and some, I don't know, maybe there are personal problems.
Some would say, I know that we have young people that are watching right now and have ideas, they want to implement them, and when they hear that, oh, your father is even on the board, like, okay, that's a rich kid's son, so really that's why he's doing that.
No, my dad isn't rich. I've literally like built all the resources on myself. It's just that he has an economics background. He's a doctor, so that I felt like would be better to handle. And he has been supportive. He understands things that are needed to be done.
Thank you for coming through on Millennium, Kwacha Arnold.
Okay.
All the best.
Thank you so much.
I want to be the first to receive the 4-plate, the gas, the 3-in-1.
I want the 6.
She wants 6.
I literally want 6. How do people get into contact with you though to make pre-orders? Because this will be a pre-order situation, right? Since you're saying they'll only be ready maybe after by the end of this year. Yeah. So, and even those that want to come through to support your project.
Okay, so they can go on the website www.venturasjumpstart. Either on Facebook, you can find us. You can also find us on the website. There are contacts there.
Okay.
Then those who are unable, they can still reach me on my public profiles.
Okay.
Like Facebook, Namwinga Inventor, LinkedIn, also on Twitter, Instagram. Yes.
Awesome. No, thank you so much for sparing time to come through and talk to us and tell us about your inventions.
Thank you so much for having me, and I really appreciate for this time. And trust me, we can't do anything without the media.
Nice. We were talking to Arnold Nyendwa. He is an inventor. He invented the first stainless steel stove in Zambia. If you do want to get, you want to get that stove that you can use with either electricity, charcoal, gas. It will be, well, hopefully we're hoping it will be available by the end of the year or by next year, and you'll be able to get that on the product. Let's support local, so you can find him on the platforms that he has mentioned. He mentioned Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn as well, as Arnold Nyendwa, the inventor. This is Millennium Kwacha, your first and your favorite business breakfast show. We take a quick break. We'll be back in just a bit. It has been an exciting journey on the Roundtable Talk. We have featured a host of high-profile individuals such as cabinet ministers, permanent secretaries, directors, and a host of other high-profile guests. As we proceed with the Roundtable Talk, we would like to announce that it is now going mainstream. Yes, you heard me right. Going forward, the Roundtable Talk will be broadcast on Millennium TV, Channel 95 on the Topstar decoders, on YouTube, and as always on Smart Eagle's Facebook page. Join me every Thursday at 15:30 hours as I bring to you more and more exciting guests for more information, entertainment, and education. I'm Nakiwe Simpongwe, your host.
It is packaged to perfection, trending topics that we will be discussing to make sure you know exactly what's happening in the world of social media and, of course, our very own country.
Exactly. We don't just limit ourselves to the country, but we also move across the borders with the best in international news, policy making. We also bring experts to bring to you right information right here on The Breakfast Show.
And if you've got questions,
tips.
We got you covered too. Like we said, we're on Facebook, so comment, leave your questions. We will be able to answer them. And if we can, trust me, we're going to get somebody that can.
Yeah, join us every day, Monday to Saturday.
It's Constance and Paul.
Or Paul and Constance.
No, definitely Constance and Paul.
Paul and Constance.
Definitely Constance.
Paul and Constance. 7 to 9.
It is packaged to perfection, a trending topic.
This is Millennium Kwacha, your first and only business breakfast show. Coming to you live from our Long Acres studios right here in the capital city, Lusaka. We're also streaming live both on Facebook as well as YouTube. The question we're asking today, being the Financial Literacy Week, what is the importance of savings? What mechanisms do you even put in place to ensure that you save your money efficiently? We want to hear from you. Drop us your comments on Facebook or YouTube. And like it has been mentioned today, we are also callable. Yeah, there's a new word that's been coined by Constance today. We are also callable.
That is
so call us 0975-740518. We want to hear from you. What savings mechanism have you put in place in your personal life, family life, or corporate that you are using and you want other people to adopt? To be glad to hear from you. On this particular segment, we've been joined by, today we have innovative people.
Yes.
I think I'm being challenged really to be more innovative in the way I do my stuff. Yeah. But we have Mr. Granville Hood. Will be talking to us about sustainable, clean energy. Indeed, he even looks clean himself. Welcome to Millennium Kwacha.
Thank you very much. Feel good to be here this morning. Thank you.
Great. I love the red necktie. I think we should bargain afterwards how much I need to give you.
We should, definitely.
Can it cost much?
No. We can come to an agreement.
Awesome. First things first. I know what you do. She knows what you do. For the sake of the viewers, what does Granville Hood do?
Okay. So, name is Granville Wood. I'm the director in charge of strategic partnerships at Open Energy Labs. Open Energy Labs is a startup energy company. We've been registered since 2017. We're registered here in Lusaka, and we also have an office in the UK. I mean, we're registered in the UK as well. We've been operational since 2019. So between 2017 and 2019, we've been going back and forth, getting our paperwork in order. There's small certificates you need to put in place. You need to stick on your wall before you can get operational. So between that time, we've been moving back and forth. Basically, what we do is we train young people to build and design renewable energy systems. So in this case, we focus at our workshop. We tend to focus on charge controllers. In the simplest terms, a charge controller is an electronic device that regulates power or gives you a constant power output. So over at our workshop in North Park, young people would come in and we'd sit down with them and we'd teach them how to build these charge controllers from scratch. So we'll sit down and give them plain PCB boards, then also add on the PCB boards, printed circuit boards. Printed circuit boards are found in most electrical devices, even mobile phones, TVs, that's the PCB. So we've got those PCBs. Those PCBs are designed in-house by our engineers at Open Energy Labs. Then the components, we source most of the components locally over at Simoson, the Simoson building. They've got, it's like the electronics hub of Zambia, to be honest. That's where you get pretty much all the components.
Okay.
Apart from a few components that are a bit hard to find, and those we have to order from China or make an order through our UK office. So the students would come through. In the past, since 2019 to now, we've trained about 138 students.
Awesome.
Yeah, 138.
Awesome.
I know. We've trained about 138 students. So these 138, we started off with a very small group. Started off with about 8. These 8 were coming from different backgrounds. Some were from mechanical engineering, electrical engineering. We had people from the media. We had doctors in that first group. So we ran the workshop. It came out all right, and we were testing. It was a pilot that we were running. Then after that, we realized, okay, what we're doing here has got potential. We decided to team up with the National Technology Business Center. It's a statutory body under the Ministry of Higher Education. So there are two very important statutory bodies under the Ministry of Higher Education. NTBC, that's the National Technology Business Center, and the National Science and Technology Council, NSTC. So we partnered with these two statutory bodies. They were able to advise us to say, okay, if you're going to do this in this particular way. If you're going to build your own content, build this content in a particular way. Don't confuse the masses. Yeah. So with that, we teamed up, and with NTBC we've actually got an MOU. Great. And with NSTC, well, NSTC is pretty open. It's very open. We've got letters of support from them, and they come through when we've got these trainings going on. Then we further extended to say, okay, what's the balance here? We're doing education. We're teaching people how to build these energy sources. Let's also put another main focus on energy. So in the past year, we were also able to get the Ministry of Energy on board. So we've got a memorandum of understanding with the Ministry of Energy, and we work closely with the Ministry of Energy. Has got a department called the Department of Energy, which deals with mostly with solar, and we work very closely with them. Yes. Then I think. Do we have time here?
We have all the time.
Let's go.
We're going to go
Keep
out.
preaching.
We'll go out. So we've from the time we've been running these workshops, students come in, you stand in front of a board and you teach them. No, this is a resistor. The resistor does so and so. Then in front of you on your table there, you've got resistors, and you've got a PCB board. Let's start soldering, because you understand the way our curriculums in Zambia are set. From both as far back as at what grade do we start learning about electricity and the like?
3, 4.
Yeah, 3, 4. Start teaching us about lightning. This is lightning. By the time you're getting up to grade 4, 5, 6, 7, you already know what voltage is. You already know what a battery is. So all that is there. But the only part that we've been falling a bit short is the fact that mostly it's theory. So what we do at our workshop is mostly practical work. So they come through, give them the components. We give them the basic introduction into electronics and electrical and energy generation. Then they start building those charge controllers. Okay,
I'm curious though. You said you work very closely with the energy regulation, but especially on the solar part. What is your work with them?
Okay, so our work with them, like I told you, we are trying to find a balance between how we can work with energy and education. So, like I was explaining, you understand the way our curriculums are set. Mostly it's theory work, and as we tend to focus on practical work. Yes. So the way we work closely with the Ministry of Energy is that they come in and support projects such as ours. If we're going to seek for funds, to direct those funds into energy and education projects such as the ones we're doing, and others. So the main aspects of that MOU with the Ministry of Energy is for us to work closely to source for funds locally and internationally through our UK office. Understand, in the UK we've got support from DFID. Yeah, we've got support from DFID.
Lovely. These charge controllers, for a layman like watch, break it down. What are they?
Basically, a charge controller is basically a device that regulates a power output. Say, for example, you've got a 12-volt battery. I think we've all seen 12-volt batteries these days. There are a lot on the market. Or you've got a 12-volt solar panel, and you want to charge, say, your mobile phone. Most mobile phones have got USB port for charging. That USB port is set at 5 volts. And now you've got 12 volts for your power supply, and you want to charge a 5-volt device. So what a charge controller does is it regulates that voltage to your desired output. If you want from 12, you can get anything below 12. In this case, the majority of the charge controllers that we have right now, the LE1, the Kafue board, and these others, we mostly just focus on 5-volt output for mobile phone charging and for lighting. But we just don't end there. We go on and we innovate. Apart from just the 5-volt, we are also trying to focus on other higher sources of power in terms of output. You can just focus on 5 volts. Some other people will come through and say, look, I don't want 5 volts. I want 12. I want 18. So we give those students that knowledge to say, we've given you the introduction, now go out and innovate. Now, as those students innovate, they come up with different projects. Those projects, once nurtured, can be then redirected and turned into actual businesses that are able to make money.
Do you have success stories from those that you've trained?
We've got a few stories. We've got a few stories. So you understand, us as Open Energy Labs, when we see if a project has got good potential, we're able to support that project. Then
with finances?
With finances.
Okay.
With either finances, that can be actual money, we can provide components, and we can provide equipment that will enable them work. Apart from that, we're also able to provide space at our workshop in Rodsbach. Then we realized that some of these projects require specific information. Some of the students require to be guided in a specific direction. That's how we got in touch with NTBC and NSTC. Some of them need to be guided through the entire process of commercialization, meaning getting your idea from paper up to an actual product and being sold onto the market. So we partnered with NTBC, and NTBC helps our students through the process of commercialization. That includes also advice on IP, that's patents with PACRA. I know if I say PACRA, people from PACRA will say, but we were at Open Energy Labs. So we are also in touch with PACRA. We are in touch with about 9 government agencies. These include ministries and other statutory bodies. Yes.
Awesome. I would want to find out from you the major gap that you noticed when launching this, because you've identified 2 markets, Zambia and the UK. Is there a special reason why the UK office is there?
Special reason why the UK office
maybe
is there?
that's where the dollars are coming from?
That's where the dollars are coming from. Could be.
Could be right. Yeah.
Could be right.
Yeah.
Could be right. You understand that in the UK, through DFID, they've got these programs that favor renewable energy. So, I mean, if you're going to tap into it, you might as well tap into it. But even here in Zambia, the focus has been there on renewable energy, and not just on the energy sector, but on the education side as well. You understand, people are developing, are improving the curriculum to fit the market. You understand, right now, people complain, we've got load shedding, we've got what, and we've got students from technical colleges that are being taught electrical, electronics, and the like. So if you put all that knowledge together, people would be able to build their own power supplies, even better than ours. We would actually be happy if they built power supplies larger and better than ours.
What have you built from your workshop that you can call this? This is a product from us.
Okay, so from our workshop, we've got what is called the LE1 charge controller. That was the first one.
LE1.
LE1. That was local electricity one. From then, we've been able to rebrand and identify as Open Energy Labs full time. That's our charge controller. Then we realized that standing in front of a whiteboard and saying, this is your resistor, this is what wasn't becoming too effective. So after the first 100 students that we did, we paused and said, how can we improve the way we are delivering our content? So we sat down with our engineers and our programmers, and we decided to shift all our content onto a mobile device, onto a mobile application. Then that mobile application then interacts with the charge controller. So meaning you can be seated anywhere. Anywhere around the world, you can sit down with, as long as your device is connected to the internet. The content will be there, and your PCB will be there, and all the other components will be there. Then the mobile application is loaded with these instructions and this content. You then run through the content by yourself and build and assemble the charge controller.
Why haven't you taken these to rural areas where power, I think, is the most challenging thing?
Okay.
Why focus in Lusaka, which is already lighted?
I think that's a very good point. With the last 2 workshops that we ran with our new mobile application, we ran one pilot here in Lusaka, and one in Chiawa. It's Chiawa district, that's Lower Zambezi. You understand, in rural areas, the electrification rate stands at about 4%, which is very tricky. Although, if I say that, we're also working closely with the Rural Electrification Authority. As RIA goes into these rural areas, we're also going with them and try and see where we can put our hands on. So we ran this pilot in Chiawa, and we noticed that the feedback there was actually very good from people of Chiawa. They've got ZESCO lines, but very few people have got that access to those ZESCO lines. And so we decided to extend into the rural areas, because these are the guys that really needs that electricity for lighting and for mobile phone charging. Imagine, in these rural areas, there are schools. These schools open 7:15, 6:40 or something like that. Then the moment the sun goes down, then that's it. All life is out. And now imagine you need to study, and they're studying with either a candle or a paraffin lantern or something. It's very hard. So if you introduce basic lighting, you connect a USB bulb to one of our charge controllers. It's bright enough for a student to study.
I feel we should continue this conversation again.
We should. That's why I asked. We have enough time.
We'll make time to visit your workshop.
Yes, you should. I think the best way to actually get a full grasp of what we're doing is if you came down to our workshop.
Our range, we come so that we get also. I would also want to see the things really, because we're talking about charger controllers. I'm trying to look at my charger. Is it my charger or something?
Mobile applications.
But thank you so much for coming through. We'll really make time to ensure that we also come down to your workshop.
All right, thank you very much. Real good to be out here. Studio is very warm.
Awesome. Thank you so much for wearing red like Constance and me.
Yes.
This is where we wrap up today's edition of Millennium Kwacha, your first and only business breakfast. We're discussing sustainable clean energy with Mr. Granville Wood, officers in Zambia as well as UK. Of course, we'll have much more on this subject later on Millennium TV on behalf of the entire production crew, and of course, my co-host Constance Namwinga, yes, and our sustainable guy, man, Mr. Wood. Thank you so much for coming through. My name is Shingongo. Back again tomorrow at 7. Keep watching Millennium TV.
Thank you.
It is packaged to perfection, trending topics that we will be discussing to make sure you know exactly what's happening in the world of social media and, of course, our very own country.
Exactly. We don't just limit ourselves to the country, but we also move across the borders with the best in international news, policy making. We also bring experts to bring to you right information right here on The Breakfast Show.
And if you've got questions, we got you covered too. Like we said, we're on Facebook, so comment, leave your questions. We will be able to answer them. And if we can, trust me, we're going to get somebody that can.
Yeah, join us every day, Monday to Saturday.
It's Constance and Paul.
Oh, Paul and Constance.
No, definitely Constance and Paul.
Paul and Constance.
Definitely Constance.
Paul and Constance. 7 to 9.